Hey guys, and welcome back to Brexit. Brexit England, Northern Ireland, and Eastern Europe. And in Brexit England, this week, King Charles will be crowned in a celebration, a coronation service that is so palatial, plush, flash, and everyone's going to have a jolly good time down there with the people in the country who, attending warm banks. 500,000 people did attend warm banks. And, I'm going to food banks, utility costs, completely out of control. Our food prices doubled. People are living in a, just let me think of what this is. It is a capitalist poverty. And the strange thing is, before I get back onto the king, the strange thing is, right, because, I look at all these people, right, as like, obviously, the king doesn't live in the same society as the rest of us. Basically, not even the politicians, really. I mean, they're of a much higher standard. Do you know what I mean? I mean, these guys. I mean, Prince Charles was born with a whole cabinet, but a cabinet for a stately room that fills the whole wall of a stately room, right? And that cabinet was full of platinum. And he wasn't even born with that in his mouth. People were born with a silver spoon in their mouth, not in his mouth. He was born on top of that. Whole cabinet, I mean, just full of platinum. Right? That's how these people are. And they want you to come out and celebrate, right, for them. Do you know that on Saturday they expect you to say this the Pledge of Allegiance, right? In front of your telly, right? And are you going to say the Pledge of Allegiance? I'll wait. I saw a survey on Twitter, right? And the survey, 16% of people, 16% of people are going to refuse. No, sorry, 16% of people are going to take the Pledge of Allegiance. So I said, what about the other 84%? What about those? The other 84% are saying, you know what, no, you can forget this. I don't want to go and pledge my allegiance, right, to someone who was born, right, with a whole cabinet, long ass cabinet, right, longer than a football pitch of platinum, and you've got to go and pledge allegiance, while people in this country, right, are going through the worst circumstances they can ever go through. Right, so this is going to be rubbed right up in our face. But I mean, the thing is, right, See, did I say that earlier, that we're living in this country in a capitalist poverty, right? You see, because that's what it actually is. Because strangely enough, right, I've been thinking about this, and strangely enough, our politicians, right, are living in I'd say it's more of a communist society for them. But it's obviously it's a type of communist society that most people would be like, so you're saying to me that I get £86,000 or 87,000 plus all of my bills are paid, right? So that's utilities, housing, my travel costs, and I get subsidized food. Yeah. And 87,000 pounds in my bank every year. Yeah. I think that most people would be like, yeah, you know what, I can go with that communism, because that's what they are. And it's just not them. It's all MPs. It's all MPs across the world. It's our MPs and all the rest of them across the world as well. Do you know what I mean? They're living in a communist, right, society for them. But for us, we're living in a capitalist poverty. Now, you can pull yourself up in our society that we're living in. Do you know what I mean? You can do that. Do you know what I mean? But it's not something that's easy to do. Do you know what I mean? Most people are in this country are probably doing jobs that are probably under 30k, and right now 30k can't do anything for you, as the nurses strike and all that is showing. Do you know what I mean? That type of money can't do anything for you nowadays, because what the hell are you going to live? To live in London, do you know what I mean? The rent is over £2,000 a month. Do you know what I mean? Which is just, where the hell do you go? And it's over that. So you're talking about 2,200. So and where do you go from there? It just goes up. But this is because the politicians have allowed this country to become just to become like a business center for people all over the world to just come and invest in our property market, or take over our utility companies, or or our CO2 companies, or our hospital car parks, whatever it is. It's all been sold off, right? If you just look at the property market, for example, you just think, well, why are the government not building all these houses instead of getting all these private companies to build these houses? Because because it's not as if to say, well, they could build affordable housing and sell them, they could build affordable housing and rent it out, and they could be collecting rents off that for the next 1,000 years. But no, for some reason they've decided, you know what, no, we don't want to do that. We want to sell all that stuff off, right? And then we've got to the situation that we're in now. And that will teach you a lesson, right? That these people cannot stand you at all. In fact, they think you're black. And welcome back to By Any Means Necessary. Thank you so much for all your messages sent me. A special thanks here to everybody who signed up to my channel. I feel so blessed with so much people that have signed up. So thank you so much for that. I'll go for all your messages. I'll answer as many as I can, but I will like all the messages for definite. So look, we're going to start quickly with Paul O'Grady, because Paul O'Grady has passed away. And as I was saying yesterday about drag queens, yeah, Paul O'Grady was what, Lily Savage? Now, would any of these people have a problem if Lily Savage had went down to a school and given done a reading? No, they wouldn't. You know what I mean? But I don't know why, but they wouldn't. These people, as I said, these people seem to be losing their minds over drag queens. It's much more in America that this is happening. And speaking of America, we're going to move over to America, because Donald Trump has taken the name Crooked Hillary away from Hillary. He's retired it. And now he's given it to Joe Biden. So he's going to be calling Joe Biden Crooked Joe Biden. And, Donald Trump has got some real cheek. This is a man who's like in real problems with courts all over America. And he has got the cheek to be calling Biden a criminal. He's going for a rape trial at the moment, right? But it's a civil trial. But he's coming over here. He's going to Scotland and he's going to Ireland. Because you know what? He can't go and put himself in the court because he knows what would happen. See what I mean? He'll get ripped to pieces, right? He's not going to debate any of the Republicans this year because, Ron DeSantis is an idiot anyway. So Donald Trump is not going to debate any of them. So that's how I can't see any of them. I can't see any of them beating him anyway. So it looks like it's going to be a runoff between him and Joe Biden again. So we'll have to see what happens there. And he wants to bring as soon as he gets back into power, he wants to bring back the Muslim ban. Seriously, I mean, it's so much divisive politics. You just wonder why so much people actually like that. But it's as I said, yeah, this is down to people being born with a racist gene in their forehead, right? But the only reason why you could be in support of Donald Trump, right? The Supreme Court in America is in real problems. I mean, this Judge Clarence Thomas, he is really, he's really showing what corruption really is. And the reason, the thing is, it's come up about I think it's 5 of them now, all Republicans, right, that have been taking money from this person and going, taking holidays and, going all over the world in yachts and jumbo jets, with private jets and all these type of things, right? And these are all things that haven't been declared, and they're supposed to declare these things. Clarence Thomas, this guy, Harlan, he bought his mum's house. So, you know what? And then we've got Mrs. Crazy Marjorie Taylor Greene, because Marjorie Taylor Greene believes that step parents aren't real step parents, and that's got to upset so much people in America. Even her supporters. If her supporters have got stepchildren, how you get because she said this to one of the head teachers the other day. That you're not a mum, you're not a doctor, so you're a stepmom, well, you're not a mother. What the fuck? Seriously, she's unhinged. That's why Biden the other day in the press thing, what they done the other day with the press dinner in the White House, and Biden just really slammed into her. Do you know what I mean? Because the Democrats really need to make Marjorie Taylor Greene the face of the Republican Party, because that woman, she's unhinged. She's really crazy. How many shootings has there been in America since I've been off YouTube? There's been so many shootings. People, kids being shot because they go up to someone, they go up to the wrong drive. School shootings, bank shootings, and still, these people are like, well, the gun is not the problem. I think the first school shooting was in America. I think it was in the 40s. I think it was in the 40s. So we've only got what are we now? 20. So we've only got another 17 years, right, until we're going to start coming up to the 100th anniversary of the first school shooting in America. And they still blame the gun. They still don't blame it. I mean, well, people are crazy. I've got to speed this up because I'm already 10 minutes in. Will Labour pick up any seats in Scotland this year after the SNP, right, have proved themselves to be a bunch of motherfucking criminals? You know something, yeah? People from the left upset me much more when they act in this type of way, right? Nicola Sturgeon and her husband, right, should not have any issues over money, right, over the finances of the SNP. And now, the two of it looks like the two of them have had to, jump out, right, and get the hell out of the SNP. Right? Both of them have resigned. And it was a shock to the whole world when Nicola Sturgeon resigned. And now we know. Now it looks like it's over a corruption thing, right? And I just if it's true, lock her up. Right? I can't stand left-wing corruption, right? Because we are supposed to be better than those people. But it always comes down to money. You see, and I always say this, right? You see. These parties, right, have been taken away from us by well-to-do people, right? And well-to-do people, right, are just as dishonest as the working classes. Like, someone who goes and steals, like, something out of your local supermarket, or, do you know what I mean? Or, your regular, or your house burglars and these people are just as, right, because they go for the bigger cash. That's the thing. Right, so it just annoys me, right? Especially when you get people from the left who behave like this. So I hope Labour do pick up some seats over there. Thousands of teachers will walk out on strike today, again, because of the cost of living that we're going through, because, the teachers can't afford to pay their bills. So that's the reason why the teachers are out on strike. It's our economy, right? None of these guys have got any clue of how to deal with this economy. This economy is, I'm going to think of a good word. It's fucked. That's what the word is. Because they can't even get any big business to come over here. Because big business wants to sell to more than 70 million people. Right? If you've got an international business, right, 70 million people, it's a lot of people, but it's not enough to run, for your big businesses who want to sell to 500 million people. They want, that's the market they want. Right. And we've closed ourselves off to that market, right? So that's the reason. That's the reason why the teachers, right, and the nurses and whoever else is out on strike, because they know that this 4.5% or this 5% they're offering us. What does it do? Inflation's already doubled that. So what does it do? So these people, when they keep telling you that they're in control of something, they're in control of nothing. They've got nothing going on. The government are looking to buy barges and ferries and theme parks, close down theme parks and army barracks and unused army barracks and all those things to put in the migrants that are coming across on the boats. Hold on a minute. So why didn't you do that all the time? Why didn't you just but no, because they need to wind people up about it. So if they can wind people up about it and say, oh, well, you know what? And it's all Labour's fault. In fact, Jeremy Corbyn, it's his fault. And if they can just, because that's what they do. They've been paying out all this money. They're the one who have got this migrant crisis into the situation it's in. Right? And they're like, well, we're the only people who can solve it. MPs like, Brexit red tape will send food prices sky high. Food prices will soar. That's already happening, isn't it? And they're saying that's Brexit red tape. Yeah, it's Brexit red tape, and that's exactly what it is. MPs last week debated the consequences of Brexit for the first time, and the word was unmitigated disaster. They have a 3-hour debate on this, right? And they're calling for a public inquiry into the effects of Brexit on the UK. And they say, well, we can all see the effects, right? Do we really need a public inquiry that's going to last a couple of years, right? For them to tell us what we can all see? And Britain is demanding that the EU allow them back into Horizon for a bargain price. And the EU said, well, you know something? We have got an old-fashioned British gesture for you. And they said, it's a good one. And it's better than your old fish and chips. But the old-fashioned British gesture is... These people must have lost their fucking minds. I mean, they think that they still think, right, that they have got any clout when it comes to the... Right, the EU already said to them, listen, right, because of how you are over Ireland, right, you're not coming back into Horizon. And Britain's like, well, for whatever years now, what is it, 2 or 3 years, the EU have just blocked us from going back into Horizon, right? And Britain all this time have been begging for the EU, and now they're demanding that the EU give them a better price, right? A bargain bin basement price to get back in. Anyway, guys, look, I'm going to wrap this up because I'm already 5 minutes over than I wanted to go. In fact, 6 minutes over than I wanted to go. This, my friends, is by any means necessary. I'm the MC John Ribbs. It was really nice to speak to you guys. Comments below.